You're listening to the Community Radio Show on WLEE News Talk 990. Numbers to call 788-0990. We're talking with Ibrahim Abdul-Mateen, the author of Green Deen, What Islam Teaches About Protecting the Planet. Let me see if I can do the technology right and get him back on. Ibrahim, are you there?
Oh, you just dropped them. Man.
All right. So we did have a caller. So there's
All
another.
right.
Let's try to.
Yeah, Ibrahim, call on back. We actually wanted to conference you on with the caller, but Rumsey, we have you on the line now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam to that.
How you doing, Bukhari?
Alhamdulillah.
This is Ramsey Salim.
Welcome to the show.
I just wanted to make I got into it a little late. I just heard a little bit of comments earlier from a lady about the politics, I guess it was.
Yes.
As far as who's running for president, are we, as a community, as far as American community or Muslim community, are we discussing all the candidates, or are we just kind of focusing on Obama and Romney?
No, it's focus on whatever you want to focus on. I mean, the initial question was we're trying to get a feel for who people are voting for. So I mean, I know there are other candidates that are running as well from the the Constitution Party, the Green Party, the Libertarian Party. So.
Okay, I mean, I just want to kind of put it out there because as far as the media, we're not showing that there is other candidates on the ballot. So with Romney and Obama and the on the candidate by the name of Gary Johnson, the governor, running as well. He's on every ticket of every state. And as far as hopefully people are looking at issues, not looking at Democrat or Republican, as far as who's right for this country. As a Muslim or a non-Muslim, we should always look for leadership that qualifies to lead us, not just to say, "Hey, I'm a part of this group or a part of that group."
Right. Now, the candidate that, because you're kind of fuzzy, you're a busy guy. You're probably Johnson. Gary Johnson. There you go. All right.
And he's with what party?
I think he's running under the Libertarian Party.
Okay. All right.
I believe that's the party he's running under. As far as who you vote for, who you don't vote for, my prayer is. As a Muslim and I'm an American Muslim, is that I'm hoping that people actually look into who's best for our country.
All right. Well, let me ask you this real quick. I know you want to drop them. Are you? Look, my show. Are you supporting Gary Johnson particularly? Are you advocating for him in a way? If so, I guess what would be some of the main points that you would be pushing for that candidate?
Yeah, me personally, I do support Gary Johnson. But as far as the reason I support him, he's anti-war. He's anti-supporting the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Federal Reserve trying to abolish Federal Reserves, the laws against so many things that are against the citizens of this country, pretty much bringing down the country.
Okay.
But by me coming to that conclusion, I actually look into every single candidate, trying to see who they're for, who they're not. If you put all three on a piece of paper, you will see, take the names off, you'll see that Romney and Obama are pretty much the exact same, person. It's just a different system.
All right.
Democrat and I'm a Republican.
Okay.
All
right. Well,
Thanks,
we appreciate the input. We don't have too much time left on the show, so we're going to keep it moving. We do appreciate it, Rumsey. Talk to you later, brother.
All right. I'll get some advertising.
Oh, did you just drop two people at the same time?
I don't know how this thing works.
I'm going to have to take over.
Welcome to the Community Radio Show.
Yes, hello?
Yes, you're on.
That would be Angela.
Yes, hi. I actually wanted to just go back to the issue of the identity point that you guys were bringing up.
Yes.
And one of the things I wanted to say that is, I think Bukhari brought this up earlier, but, Islamic law does say, of course, that as Muslims you are supposed to obey the laws of the country you're living in. And, in fact, you cannot rebel or do anything against the country as long as your basic liberties are granted and there's no serious violation.
Mm-hmm.
And a person does not actually even have the right to rebel against the government or, hurt or harm the country in any way, shape, or form. And, in fact, the laws of treason can apply if you intentionally side with outsiders or you yourself harm your government or the citizens of your country.
Right.
And so Islamic law is actually quite clear about that. So as Muslims, we're obligated to be patriotic about this country. I think the issue of identity, becomes kind of problematic when identity is used as a means of rebellion. And now if you look ethnically, culturally, religiously, the only times that you will actually see that happen across the board, even in other countries in all parts of the world, is when people are being oppressed. And I think that what I've seen here, living in America and, being a part of this country, is that a lot of European descent Americans, having felt that they've assimilated 100%, and it was very easy for them to do so because of the Christian majority here, and they being Christian themselves, right. They start wondering about the minorities amongst them. But at some level, we have to recognize that they may wonder because they also know that there have been areas of oppression and areas where people's rights have been violated. And right. So then it scares them to think that those people may say, hey, I don't feel like I have any allegiance to a government or to a nation that has hurt me. Right. And we know that that's, of course, happened with the African-American community because that's what slavery was doing all along, was really right. hurting them. We know it happened with the Native Americans. We know that now there are pockets of different minorities that goes on with.
Right. Real quick, let me jump in. We're gonna conference Ibrahim back in. So I
have to hit 6, right?
No, 6 is already on. Just hit the conference is on. Just hit 1.
Just hit 1. Let's try this again.
Thank you,
Ibrahim. Are you there?
God.
I'm here.
Sorry, man. We dropped you like twice.
Man, I feel like I just scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Put your hands down. You just totally failed on that.
You're on a call with Anjum, and she had a point. I just want to go back to her point.
Yeah, hopefully you can still hear that.
Yeah, and I think it's very crucial, and thanks for bringing that up, is the fact that, yes, and that's part of the reason why you see this influx of immigrants from, quote-unquote Muslim countries coming to America, is because in this country they're afforded the opportunity to practice their faith in which they're not allowed to in so-called Muslim countries. Right. And so that's a distinguishing point that I wanted to bring up. I didn't know if you wanted to comment on that, Ibrahim.
Or not. You can pass it back to Andrew, but
yeah.
But I mean,
no, I'll pass it back. I'm curious about the. I'll say this. That the what is the standard, or what is the what is seen as traditional or mainstream, it sometimes shifts. And I think that what's shifted is that you can be Catholic now, and that's okay, or that you can be, you can be Latino or Hispanic, and over a couple of generations, you can actually blend in, and then the scene is okay. It depends on certain factors. Depends on where you are in the country. Depends on what the predominant the demographics are of that part of the country, and also the religious groupings in that part of the country. So I think there's a lot of I agree with that premise, but there's also a lot of little small pieces in there as well.
Right.
Yeah. I want to thank you, Ibrahim, for coming on. He's talking with Ibrahim Abdul-Mateen, the author of Green Deen, What Islam Teaches About Protecting the Planet. We'll definitely have to get you back on to talk about your book. Sounds like a fascinating book. I'll have to actually read it.
Yeah. And so we appreciate the input.
We're up against the clock. We have 3 minutes.
Yeah, Andrew, did you have any rebuttal to that closing remarks?
Well, my last point about the whole issue of identity, period, is that identity is a very benign thing until people misuse it. It's just like any other thing. Whether it's identity and you identify yourself culturally or ethnically or religiously, it can always be benign until you yourself start using it in the incorrect way. And we see that all over the world in hot spots and in different parts of the world. But again, as the people, who are in privileged positions, people who are in majorities or people who are in positions of power, we first have to recognize how are we oppressing people in that specific identity role to which they actually feel they need to use that that sense of their identity as a point of rebellion.
Okay.
And usually people won't do that unless they actually feel that their rights are at stake.
All right,
Gotcha.
That's the music. Thanks, thanks, Ibrahim. Thanks, Anjo. All right, wow, that was a quick show. So
That was good. We
that
need 2
was,
hours.
yeah.
If you want to fund us, we have a link to our PayPal. Yeah,
So we can go to a 2 or 3 hour show. People keep coming up and telling me you got to get a 3 hour show. I'm like, yeah, write the check.
You pay for it.
Pay-
Yeah,
yeah.
and the link is actually tinyurl.com/our voice now.
I like that.
You like that, yeah.
You're earning your keep here.
I'm
so
trying.
thanks.
I'm trying.
You've been listening to Community Radio Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
Of course, we'll be here next week, same time, same channel, Saturdays from 10 to 11. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CommunityRadioShow, and hit us on Facebook,
Twitter and all that.
Twitter
and make sure
and
you
all
vote
that.
on Tuesday.
Yes. Vote on Tuesday for whoever you're going to vote for. And have a safe weekend.
Take
All
care.
right. Peace.
See you guys next week.